Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast. Do you work in emerging tech, working on something innovative, maybe an entrepreneur? Apply to be a guest at www.coruzant.com/brand. Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Barry Bradham. Barry Bradham is a serial entrepreneur, systems architect, and founder of Barry Bradham Entrepreneur, where he helps business owners eliminate operational chaos through automation, AI, and scalable digital infrastructure. With decades of hands-on experience building and operating companies across marketing, e-commerce, technology, and professional services, Barry doesn't just talk about systems, he builds and runs businesses with them. Barry's passion for technology was born out of necessity. While scaling his own companies, he repeatedly encountered the same challenges most entrepreneurs face: missed opportunities, fragmented communication, manual processes, and burnout. Instead of accepting those limits, he began developing software, automation frameworks, web apps, and AI-driven tools to create leverage and regain control. Well, good afternoon, Barry. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brian. Really appreciate the opportunity to join with you today.
Absolutely, my friend. I appreciate it. And you're hailing out of Huntington Beach, California, my old stomping grounds. I'm in Kansas City currently, but I just appreciate you making the time and surfing these time zones. Surfing, no pun intended, but love watching OP Pro back in the day. So thanks again, Barry, for jumping on.
Yeah, no problem, Brian. I'm really looking forward to the conversation and diving into how AI and automation can help businesses operate with more clarity, scale, and freedom.
Let's do it. All right, Barry, jumping right in then. You describe your work as eliminating operational chaos. What are the most common signals that a business has outgrown its systems, even if revenue is still increasing?
This is a great question, Brian, because growth can actually hide dysfunction for a long time. One of the biggest signs is when revenue is going up, but stress, confusion, and internal friction are rising with it. The business starts depending on hero employees, people who just know how things work, instead of systems that anyone can step into. Another major signal is fragmented communication. Leads are coming in, but no one is fully confident who followed up, what was said, or what the next step is. Customers ask the same questions repeatedly because answers live in people's heads instead of inside connected systems. You also see it when owners are still the bottleneck. They're approving everything, answering escalations, and filling gaps despite growing revenue. That's not scale, that's pressure. From a technology standpoint, the biggest red flag is when the CRM, website, phone system, and marketing tools aren't talking to each other. Teams are forced to manually move information between systems, which slows everything down and increases burnout. Finally, customer experience becomes inconsistent. Some customers get incredible service, others fall through the cracks, not because the team doesn't care, but because the systems can't keep up. When revenue is growing, but clarity is shrinking, that's the moment a business has outgrown its systems. That's where automation and integrated infrastructure stop being nice to have and become essential for sustainable growth. Revenue can grow on hustle, but scale only happens when systems replace strain.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And there's certainly, that's a challenge. And as you know, a lot of entrepreneurs, CEOs of companies kind of get caught up in some of the things around maybe their customer or maybe a press release or these sorts of strategic decisions. But sometimes the operational side, and you talked about this, revenue could be going up, but internal stress there's a lot of strife within the organization, fragmented communication, inefficient systems. And without good connected systems and structured processes, things just start to fall down. And I appreciate your insights because I know you've worked with a lot of companies in the past. And Barry, you've developed platforms like digilink.global and IQ AI tools to create leverage for business owners. How do you decide when a problem needs better process design versus new technology or AI?
Well, that's one of the most important distinctions between owners that business owners need to understand. Technology doesn't fix broken processes. Actually, it amplifies them. So the first thing I always look at is clarity. If a team can't clearly explain the customer journey, the handoffs, and the decision points, well, adding AI or automation will just make that chaos move faster. If the problem is inconsistency, confusion, or reliance on tribal knowledge, that's a process issue first. We need to design the flow, who does what, when, and why, before technology ever enters the picture. Once the process is clear, then technology becomes leverage. And that's where platforms like Automated Essentials Suite come in, connecting systems so information moves automatically instead of relying on memory. Follow-ups happen without effort, and decisions are supported by real-time data. AI specifically is best used when the goal is speed, scale, or cognitive load reduction, answering questions faster, qualifying leads, summarizing conversations, or supporting employees with better context in real time. So my rule is simple. Process creates order, technology creates scale, AI creates acceleration. When those three are aligned, businesses grow without burning people out. If you automate confusion, you don't get efficiency, you get faster chaos.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Those three things, process, technology, and AI, obviously big part of that, but you got to have those aligned properly. And you talked about that. Technology doesn't fix the problem. Sometimes people use that as an excuse to say they're going to fix everything, but technology can really amplify the problem if you don't have those strong structured processes in place. So I really appreciate that. And Barry, AI is often pitched as a magic solution, but implementation is where things break down. What mistakes do entrepreneurs make when introducing AI into their operations?
The biggest mistake entrepreneurs make is treating AI like a shortcut instead of an amplifier. AI doesn't replace thinking, it multiplies whatever structure already exists. If a business doesn't have clean data, defined processes, or clear ownership, AI will just automate confusion faster, like I was saying. Another common mistake is starting with tools instead of outcomes. People ask, what AI should I use? Instead of what decision, response, or workflow do I want to improve? AI should be applied surgically, one friction point at a time, where speed, accuracy, or consistency truly matters. I also see teams overwhelm employees by dropping AI on them without context. If people don't understand how AI supports their role instead of threatening it, adoption fails. The most successful implementations position AI as a co-pilot, helping answer questions, summarize information, qualify leads, handle repetitive interactions, so humans can operate at a higher level. And finally, businesses underestimate integration. AI working in isolation has limited value. The real power shows up when AI is connected to CRM, communication systems, and the customer journey. So actions happen automatically, not manually. When AI is introduced with clarity, alignment, and integration, it doesn't replace teams. It gives them leverage, confidence, and breathing room. AI doesn't create leverage on its own. Alignment does.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Really do. Just highlight a couple things again, Barry. AI is important, but as you mentioned, it's that clarity, the alignment, and that integration is so important, especially around communication systems, like you mentioned, the CRM. But people today, and we see this all the time, the big mistake, as you mentioned, people treat AI like it's a fix-all solution, and they don't even have a roadmap or some sort of strategy in ensuring that it does align with the business process and what are they trying to actually accomplish. So I appreciate that. And Barry, the last question of the day, as we look ahead, what will separate entrepreneurs who thrive with AI and automation from those who feel increasingly overwhelmed as technology accelerates?
The difference will come down to intentional design versus reactive adoption. Entrepreneurs who thrive will treat AI and automation as infrastructure, not apps. They'll focus on building a small number of connected systems that work together, CRM, connection, customer journey, and reporting, instead of constantly chasing the newest tool. They'll also think in terms of leverage, not volume. Instead of doing more, they'll design systems that remove decisions, reduce handoffs, and protect focus for themselves and their teams. That's what creates calm in an accelerating environment. Another key separator is mindset. Thriving entrepreneurs don't try to keep up with everything. They decide what not to do. They use automation to filter noise, prioritize the right conversations, and surface only what truly needs human attention. Finally, they'll lead their teams through the transition. They'll use AI to make employees better, not busier, by giving them faster access to information, clearer workflows, better context for every customer interaction. The entrepreneurs who struggle will keep stacking tools on tools without structure. The ones who thrive will build systems that create clarity, consistency, and confidence, no matter how fast technology moves. Technology is accelerating, but the winners will be the ones who slow things down enough to design it properly.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And you're right. AI, right? It's there to help employees. It's not there to scare. You got to have good messaging, the why. There's a clear roadmap, good communication around that. And you build in the stakeholders so that you do feel people feel comfortable with adopting AI. It's so important, but you can't chase, as you mentioned earlier, you can't chase that shiny new tool. You've got to be focused on exactly what you're going after, that root of the problem there. So I appreciate the insights. And Barry, it was such a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
If I wouldn't mind saying something real quick, the easiest way to connect with me is on LinkedIn or Instagram at Barry Bradham Entrepreneur. You can also go to comewinwithme.com, fill out the form, and I'll give you a free DigitalLink digital business card, some AI IQ tools, and an invite into a few entrepreneur communities. Entrepreneurship can be very lonely, especially in a tech-driven world, and community really matters. So if you want tools, clarity, and real connection, I'd love to connect with you there. comewinwithme.com. And finally, Brian, thank you so much for having me on the Coruzant Technologies podcast. It was a pleasure joining you as a digital executive to talk about AI, automation, and how technology can create freedom, clarity, and scale for modern businesses. I appreciate the thoughtful conversation and the opportunity to share insights with your audience.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.